Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. First week of April. It's a little overcast out there today, but it's not bad. I have an awesome guest here today from the biggest little state in the Union, Rhode Island, Rhode Island. Before we get to her, I got to read these great underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So, we got Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington, number one in the dealer raters of Massachusetts out of 4,500 in 2021. We got Maggie's Cuts in Kingston. We got Pembroke Radiator in Pembroke. We got Gregory Scott Jewelers in Middleborough. We got Triple Arborists in East Bridgewater. They're a new one. We got the Shooting Hardware Supplies in East Bridgewater. They're another new one. We got Caribbean Breeze Tanning Salon in Norton. We got Best Auto and Cycle in South Attleboro. They're a new one. We got ABC Specialties in Whitman. They're a new one. We got New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We got Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We get good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson on Route 58. We get Doggie Boutique, all-breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next-door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We get A1's Tire and Auto Center in Brockton, always in search of new talent for techs and service writers. We got Chapin Sheds in Whitman. Good to see them back in the spring work. We got Auto Town Auto Glass installed in Abington. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We got Genuine's Inspection in Middleborough. We got Fadeologyst Barber Shop in Brockton. They're a new one. We got Pacini's Pizza in Middleborough. They deliver. We got Crazy Axes Rec Center in Hanover. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got the Gun Runner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to their Second Amendment rights for customers or friends. We got Ocean Street Auto Repair in Marshfield. We got RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton. We got Sudden Impact Customs in Whitman. We got Eastern Fitness right in the Village Shops in Northeastern. And we got Joe's Diner in Taunton. I want to thank you guys very much. Now on that note, I'll now officially introduce Courtney Burnside here. That's a cool name. She, like I said, she's a comedian, she's a singer. We're going to look at a clip of her singing in a band, I guess, about halfway through the show. So, Courtney, thanks for coming up and being on my show today.
Thanks for having me.
And it's incredible. You're a comedian, and we're going to find out where you performed, who you performed with, and where you plan to perform, and how that's going. But before I do that, I do, like with every guest, I try to find out what you were like as a kid and how it got to where you're at. So tell me about your childhood a little bit. Tell me where you grew up, what you aspired to, and then if I have any questions, I'll roll them in, and we'll move toward the future, or the present, and then the future. So go ahead. And take your time, no hurry, don't be nervous.
I grew up in Rhode Island, and
Okay.
since I was a kid, I was always singing and dancing and doing little variety shows, and I used to do competitive Polynesian dancing.
Polynesian dancing, was that like, with aloha wreaths around your neck?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yep, and fire dancing, all of that. Yep.
Cool,
Grass
okay.
skirts, yep, we used to do that competitively and travel around doing that. We used to also do like private events and different festivals and competitions and.
Wow, and this was when you were how old?
Between the ages of 6 and 12.
Okay, so that's basically the first one. That's the half of your first 12 years of your life. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, did you just go all over Rhode Island? Or did you take it further, like outside of New England?
We would do New England mostly.
Okay.
And then some of the older people in the dance company, they got to travel further. I was younger, so I didn't get to travel as much, but my sister and I were part of the dance company, so.
Okay, wow. What was the name of the dance company? Did it have a name?
Apua of Polynesia, I believe, was the name at the time.
Okay, see, this is different. Usually, I like that when a guest tells me they did something. Most of the time, they say, "Well, we did ballet, ballroom dancing, we did disco." When you're telling me Polynesian, that's different. I mean, was it compared to the other kind of dancing? Was it faster, do you think, or you definitely got the wiggle? I know that.
Well, there's a combination. So you're doing a lot of different dances. So there's like the hula, and that's traditionally slower, and you're telling a story with hand and foot gestures and everything.
Oh, wow.
But then there's other higher, faster paced dances that are like, you're going really fast. So you have like, there's a variety of from slow to fast to super fast to, it's like, again, like if you're dancing with fire, you're going to be slow.
Right. Did you wear like togas when you did it? Isn't that what the costume garb of Honolulu is?
We would wear grass skirts.
Grass skirts, that's what I mean. Yeah. I confuse that for toga very easily. Cool. Okay. And I suppose that the music that they used was kind of like the bongos. Is that what kind of? And then you had like the sliding scales like that. The pleasant sounding.
Well, I mean, well, so
I don't know. I can't imitate them, but yeah, okay, I'm trying.
so
but-
it's mostly drums and gourds.
Right.
There's a lot of gourds for the percussion or
Okay.
bamboo sticks.
Yeah, cool. All right. So it was you and your sister mostly? Was it? So were you two like two of the only members of your family in the group, or were there other members? Of your
Yeah, so we were the only two from my family, and it was like a lot of the company went from like young kids to adults.
Adults, right.
So there was a lot of different people in that group.
I assume it took up a lot of your time. I mean, what about school? Did you actually get not ditch school, but did you get homeschooled for that?
No, it
Like-
was mostly like
Summertime?
weekends.
Yeah, it's not, right, okay. But that's incredible. Okay, now did you say you did talent shows too? In addition to this, I mean, how did you get into, now you say you sing too, and we're gonna look at a clip of that. So how did you get into singing? How did that start?
I've always just naturally been a singer. Since I was a
Okay.
kid, I would listen to something and then I would obsessively
Sing it.
listen to it and sing it to try to mimic it perfectly over and over and over. And it's just, I inundated myself with that to.
Did you have any idols in the singing world? I mean, any people,
Yeah.
who did you really idolize?
I guess mostly Mariah Carey.
Oh, I don't blame you.
She was just coming out when I was a kid.
Yeah. So early 90s.
Right, and before that it was like Whitney Houston.
Yep.
But I mostly would just
I love them both too.
obsessively teach myself how to hit all of those notes.
Can you hit that? Can you hit the Mariah Carey? Can you
The
do
whistle,
it now?
the
Could
whistle.
you do it now if you
No,
want?
no,
Really?
that's
Okay.
something you have to like really warm up for.
Exactly. I guess you do it. I know. I was always impressed the way she did that. Every song she sung in those days. I remember she started the song "Someday." "Vision of Love" was her first one
Yeah.
in 1990. I didn't like it as much, but then when she did "Someday," that hooked me. I became a fan. And then all the songs she did in the next several years. "Emotions" was my favorite. You got me feeling emotions.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And she did that video on Long Island where she lives, where she grew up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now, what about acting? You ever done acting?
Here and there, yep. I've done different readings for friends. When I was a kid, I used to do acting for
Plays?
in school.
Okay. What kind of roles did you have?
Sometimes leading roles, sometimes just like extras. But I usually got like the leading roles.
Okay, that's awesome. Was there ever a time when you actually improvised your singing and your acting as well together?
For stand-up, sometimes I will combine singing with my comedy, and I'll do like parodies of songs or
Okay, parodies. Your own parodies or someone else's?
my own.
Oh, that's
yeah.
swell. Listen, if you want to do one here, what are we going to watch about halfway through the show? Is that a parody?
No, mostly what I brought today was just my serious singing
Okay, that's
with
fine.
bands that I've played with.
You're kind of like a female Weird Al Yankovic.
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, that is awesome. And you don't. Okay, now tell me about how did you get into stand-up though?
I've always been different. I always had a different point of view than most people, and
I
it
know
was
that way.
yeah, and it was either just
It-
that's
you
how
know-
I got through. I think a lot of life was with a lot of tragedies.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just like I'm just gonna laugh about this and turn something super dark into something funny, and
That-
either people will laugh with me or they're just gonna shake their head.
I know. Well, you know what? I can totally concur because I totally get that. I'm the same way. Although, and what I do, I don't know if you've ever seen my Facebook posts, but some of them are pretty off the wall. I don't know if you've noticed that. You have?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
they're
yeah,
funny
I
though.
mean,
I appreciate
I
them.
can't make a living doing that, but I don't mind watching people roll their eyes. I have autism, and that's part of the condition. Is when you want to make yourself laugh. You don't care what other people think.
Right.
If they laugh too, it's even better. But you don't usually expect them to.
Right.
But,
And
yeah.
so when I was a kid, I got bullied a lot.
Me too.
And there was like some like hard stuff dealing with growing up. So the way that I got through that was entertaining people. So if I was singing and dancing, I could kind of keep like people at bay.
Absolutely, I totally get that.
Yeah, like
Wow.
I just learned to entertain them.
You focused on the positive, and that's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing because not everybody can do that. It took me decades to finally be able to focus on the positive, and I'm finally doing it now with the show. But that's great. Now, in
Yeah,
terms
and if I wasn't like doing that with singing and stuff, I would make them laugh instead.
okay,
And that's how I kind of get them to leave me alone.
That's great. I never heard of that, but I love it. Well, but what about like actual gigs that you had? Did you get paid gigs anywhere? So tell me
yeah.
about those. Where have you performed, and have you ever opened for anybody that's a household name? And if not, then that's okay because you're a household name. You're the one they're going to be opening for.
So I've done mostly local comedy.
Okay. What venues have you performed at? What clubs?
I have performed at the Comedy Connection, and that's in Rhode Island.
You probably know John Parada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was on the show a couple of years ago.
He gave me my start, you know.
That's awesome. Great guy.
Yeah, no, I've hosted open mics for him. I've done, he has like, sometimes he does the competitions. I've done those for him too.
Right.
I've definitely performed stand-up at various different clubs around New England.
Okay.
Then what I've also done, I've had people ask me to do like private parties and do stand-up.
That's awesome.
For their, yeah, it's been fun.
I bet it has. My goodness. They get booked for private parties. Now, how do you market yourself? I mean, are you just on Facebook? You have a website?
It's all just on Facebook, mostly some Instagram, but mostly Facebook, and it's become like word of mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just, I've always been entertaining people, and in conversation, I usually end up making people laugh, and that's how I just figured, well, let me try stand-up, because I usually use the material that I use in real life that seems to make people laugh, and it just seemed to come naturally.
That is awesome. Well, guess what? We're about halfway through the show, and we're going to watch a little clip of you singing in your band, and then we're going to talk about that. So without further ado, folks, watch a clip of Courtney Burnside singing, and we'll be right back and continue the interview. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
Then I
great. Tell me, what did we just watch? What were you singing, and what band was it?
So, a few years ago for New Year's Eve, some friends of mine and I did covers of the Ramones, but in a reggae style.
Okay.
We called ourselves the Jamones instead of the Ramones.
Okay, you know they're all deceased now, so they can't sue you.
Right.
There's my little comedy stick.
And it seemed to go over well. Some of the people involved, well, the ones that asked me to do it with them was Gregory, who
Okay.
operates the Parlor in Providence.
Okay.
That's his club. That's where we're performing at. Another singer was Kimberly,
Okay.
and she was also part of that. And
Yep.
they asked me to join them, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay, so basically it was the lyrics. They wrote the lyrics, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, and that was incredible. Now, as far as singing though, now do you sing in a band as well, a regular band, or do you sort of like freelance yourself out to different bands?
I kind of just freelance, or we end up doing side projects a lot.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Have you ever written any songs yourself? All right. Now you mentioned a little while ago that you like, you parody singers.
Sometimes.
Did you parody Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston?
No.
No, you wouldn't parody them. I know they're too good to parody. I understand. I can totally get that.
It usually, when I do parodies, it's like little short clips of like, it'll be situational. So I'll be in the moment.
Yep.
And it'll be like a situation that reminds me of a song, and then I'll just like take that over.
Wow.
Like when I did, when I was working in preschool.
Working where?
Well, for a while when I was doing preschool teaching.
You did? Oh, you taught preschool?
Right.
I didn't know that.
During
Wow.
the day,
Yeah, yeah, good. Okay.
Wholesome.
That's awesome.
Well, it's one of the notorious things about little kids is they don't want you to wipe their nose. There could be boogers all over the place.
Oh, I don't blame. I know. I didn't want people wiping my nose either.
Right. So the only way I could get kids to do what I needed them to do, functionality, was, all right, well, if I sing a song about it, they'll do it.
You mean you want it so they wipe their own nose?
Right.
Oh,
so like that
makes
song,
sense.
Poker Face by Lady
Oh,
Gaga.
yeah, by Gaga.
So
Sure.
instead of saying that, I would just sing to them like, can't wipe my booger face.
Oh, there you go. I like it.
And they would let me do it, or they would do
Oh,
it
I see
themselves.
what you mean. They thought it was funny, so they figured it
Yeah.
wasn't such a problem. No, I know, because it's not a fun experience having. I know it's disgusting, but let's face it, it is part of life. We have boogers sometimes, and you brought it up, so you're the guest, so we can talk about it. And every now and then when I'm doing a show, I have to clean house too. I
Right.
think the last show I did, I don't think anybody cared, but fortunately today I'm pretty dry. My nasal cavities are bone arid right now. That's good. So,
Yeah, little toddlers are like
Oh.
little versions of what they're going to be when they're drunk adults.
Yeah, totally.
Same thing.
I love that. There you go.
can't get drunk adults to like listen to reason or do anything unless you like trick them into it sometimes. You have to be like, oh, let's come over here, start singing a song or something that they think they know, and it's like.
Do you have any? Let me ask you this:
Viper.
Do you have any inspirational comedians, stand-up comedians that you admire?
For physical comedy, I love Gilda Radner.
Okay. What about for stand-up?
Stand-up, I love Dave Chappelle.
Any women in particular?
For stand-up,
Yeah.
that's hard.
You know who Sarah
Sarah
Silverman is?
Silverman's
She's my
pretty-
cousin,
Oh, she is?
and I hate her. I don't hate her. I'm just her attitude toward my show is very aggravating. And
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying that in case if Dad watches this,
Do you and Sarah have beef?
No, we don't have beef. No, I don't hate her. I'm kidding. But I was a little aggravated because I asked her. I met her a few years ago. She was performing at the Wilbur, and so what happened was the other day. You remember the Will Smith thing where he slapped Chris Rock? We all know about that.
Right.
So I said something like, I said, well, my loser cousin Sarah Silverman gets on stage and she insults people and people love it. And then somebody made a comment, oh, I love Sarah. And I go, I hate Sarah. And then her father was told, I'm not Facebook friends with him, but we have a mutual friend that said, you shouldn't talk like that about Sarah. She's very hurt. And then he sends me a friend request, and I blocked him because that side of my family doesn't treat me very well anyway.
Oh.
They're very, they condescend to me, and they think they don't take my show seriously. I don't like the attitude.
Did
So-
you grow up with her?
No, I didn't. She's a lot younger than me. She's 11 years younger than me. I didn't. She grew up in Bedford, New Hampshire. I grew up in Brockton. I'm still in Brockton. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying that just in case any one of those people are watching the show. I mean, I'm happy for Sarah. Listen, if she I'm hoping she uses me in her material at some point. That would be, that would really be funny. So all right. Well, anyway, we don't want to get too much about that off the subject of you though. Okay, so. I mean, so when you do your stand-up, do you create material that's kind of, crude at times as well? I suppose you do if you talk about boogies with little kids.
Sometimes it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
My mother hates it.
Well, that's okay. I mean, that's the game. I mean, you're always gonna make enemies. Well, not enemies, but you're always gonna have controversy. So I understand that.
Well, I think the best comedy comes from either controversy or straight anger.
That's true. No, you're absolutely right. You
I
hit
feel
the
like
nail on
you
the head.
can't really be a good comic unless you've been through some stuff in your life.
I know. Well, do you want to? It's up to you. I was wondering if you wanted to, talk about some of the stuff that you went through that you poke fun at. If not, that's fine. But I figured maybe it might be interesting to see how you created from your own misery.
So, I mean, sometimes I talk about how you end up with an elbow tattoo as a girl. That's not a normal thing, but maybe you've been through some things, and here you go, you've got an elbow tattoo, or
An elbow tattoo? Well, we mean like banging your elbow accidentally, or somebody hitting you with?
No, just like making weird life choices.
Oh, I see what you mean.
How you end up making
You're using a
strange life
metaphor
choices,
then.
yeah.
All right, I understand. That makes sense. Okay. All right, that's cool. All right, well, I mean, it sounds to me like you're pretty good at taking negatives and turning them into positives. And
Yeah, I just try to make fun of myself at all times.
you're good. Yeah, I berate myself constantly too. So in terms of like audience participation, how has that gone for you? I mean, how many followers do you have now? Would you say?
I have like a few thousand.
Oh, there you go. That's not a bad start. Now, how long have you been actually doing stand-up for?
I've been doing stand-up since 2014.
So 8 years. Wow. Okay.
On and off, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. So you're still doing music too, and now when you do your routines, do you incorporate music as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So you're almost like sometimes, and I've seen this done before. I mean, it's not easy to do well, but take like musical comedy and turn it into stand-up. Just by yourself.
I sneak it in there.
You sneak it in there, exactly. Okay. So do you have any gigs coming up in the next, few weeks that you want to talk about somewhere, in some venues or what?
So this last weekend, I had just performed with Gregory and Kimberly again.
Okay.
And we did some Prince covers. It was a
Okay,
Prince
Prince.
tribute night, and
Yeah.
so I've also given you guys some clips of that as well.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's sweet. Okay, well that'll be great to check that out. And he can't sue you either because he's dead.
Right. And it's a tribute anyway.
Exactly. Good. Okay. I've never been. My only admiration of Prince are the girls that he used to get when he was alive. Obviously, I mean, how can you disdain on that? But as far as liking his music, I never really did.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I just never liked it. I don't know. I've always loved Mariah Carey. I've always loved Whitney Houston's music. I've just never been a Prince fan.
It is incredible that he could write.
Probably like 1999. That was a cool song only because in 1982, 1999. I don't even know if you were around in '82. You look pretty young, but.
Not yet.
Right. Okay. So you probably didn't know the song "Party Like It's 19."
No, I know the song.
You know the song, but I mean, in 1982 when it came out, 1999 was so far in the future that that it was still a novelty. Now of course it's 23 years ago. I know. So I mean for that content I enjoyed it, but aside from that I never really liked his music. But you like it. I mean, you listen. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, regardless of whether you're parodying someone or whether you're imitating them out of a passionate mode instead. That depends on how you feel, obviously. But it still means plenty. It still means plenty to whoever it is you have using on stage. Have you ever done a music video besides the one we just watched? I mean, have you ever been in one?
Oh no, nothing
Okay.
like. Nothing major production, no.
Okay. Listen, you're kind of cute. Have you ever done modeling?
No.
Okay. I mean, you know, I don't want to embarrass you, but you know, I can see that. You look like you're in good shape. Do you work out regularly? Yeah, good. I can tell. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, I guess you got to be healthy and you got to be in shape to be able to do what you do.
You got to try.
Right. Okay. Now, do you have anything coming up on the horizon, like, you know, in the next several weeks, though, months? You know, any gigs anywhere that you want to mention?
Kimberly and I.
Okay.
from
She's not your
Parlor-
sister, is she?
No, no.
Okay.
We're trying to work on a project where every few months we do covers of
Songs. Okay.
that people might want to hear. So that's kind of in the works. I have a few things in the works, so anything would be posted on the social media.
Okay. Now, I know this is kind of digging deep, but would you ever parody some of the stuff that's been happening, and not in the Ukraine, obviously that's horrible, but I mean like the Will Smith thing? Would you ever parody that? Do you talk, I mean, that's, obviously that became, you know, comedic stuff for a lot of people. Or have you mentioned that since it happened?
I feel like that's low-hanging fruit, and it's just like, we've been so inundated by that.
Yeah, okay.
I just rather take stuff from real life.
Yeah.
And like laugh at like horrendous things that have happened in real life,
Okay.
in my personal
maybe
life.
I shouldn't ask what they might be, but your real life, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. If you, that's the good thing about berating yourself, is that you can't really offend other people by, I mean, you say your mother hates it, but, well, maybe it's her fault. Maybe she did things that she shouldn't have done, and now you're taking it out on her by using
Oh, no, I mean, I don't mean it like that.
All
It's
right,
just
all
like
right,
sometimes when things get off color, she's like, I don't want to hear this.
Oh, I
You
understand.
know,
No,
like-
I know. Well, at least she cares enough to, you know, to appreciate what you're doing. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you have children of your own?
No.
Okay. So I'm just saying that's good because it frees you up for doing what you know, doing your bits and stuff like that. Do you? So how far wide do you travel to do these shows now? You got anything outside of Rhode Island coming up in the next few weeks or?
Not recently. Since like
Since
COVID happened,
yeah.
things kind of took a back burner. So I'm just starting to, get back out there again.
Right. Okay. Have you ever? I know you never did a music video. Have you ever made like a YouTube video of yourself doing stand up and submitted it to anybody, or sent it off, into a plethora of eager people's dens?
No, not yet. I think that I'll be doing that. I'll be trying to do more of that.
Okay.
I think for the first few years of me doing the stand-up, I was just trying to work out the kinks first
I understand. That
before I
makes sense.
posted anything publicly. Every once in a while, I did like Facebook Live feeds,
Okay.
but I didn't really put up a YouTube channel, but I plan on setting all that stuff up soon.
I noticed what I thought I saw on your Facebook page was a picture of you, like you were lighting a log or something.
Oh,
What's that?
that's me. I'm hammering. Well, I'm blacksmithing in that picture.
Oh, okay.
So I had just taken the iron out of the forge.
Okay.
And I was smoothing out the tip over an anvil.
Oh, okay. So you really were blacksmithing.
Yeah, I
Okay.
really was.
That's something that they did in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, I have a lot of strange interests.
Oh, that's good. Oh, okay. All right. Well, guess what? Courtney? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show. Jack just gave us a signal. So what I want you to do, like I said at the beginning, is look at the camera and give shouts out to people that are going to see it real quick, condense them, and then we'll wrap the show up with my music the way we began it.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I'm Courtney Burnside. You can find me on Facebook there or on Instagram as Punky Bruiser. Comedy, singing. Thank you to Gregory at the Parlor and Kimberly for always asking me to join you guys on your projects, and I hope to see you all out there sometime soon.
Did you just say Punky Brewster?
Punky Bruiser.
Oh, Bruiser. 'Cause
That's
I remember,
the
you
play
look
on
like Punky
words.
Brewster, the little girl. I remember that from TV many years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I like the way you did that, the way you changed it to Punky Bruiser. I mean, you got it from Punky Brewster, right?
Yeah, and I love punk rock, and I do like security and merch for different bands when they come around sometimes. So.
And you teach preschool too.
Well, I used to do that.
Oh, you don't do that anymore?
No, but when bands come around, I sometimes I would do security for them or do their merch, and I'm just
What's a merch?
merchandise.
Oh, merchandise,
Yeah,
of course.
I used to sell their merch at like
Okay.
the table and stuff, and I go to shows, and I've been in punk bands in the past, so I just changed the name to Punky Bruiser instead of Brewster.
That is very clever. That is exceptional. All right, well, I hope you had fun with me.
I did. Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, that's it. So, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. We're going to wrap it up. And, oh, yeah, one more thing. If you had fun with me, what I want you to do is talk to some of those people, Kimberly. What's the guy's name?
Gregory.
Greg, yeah. Have him, I think I know Kimberly Rose, you say?
Hallman.
What's that?
Kimberly Hallman.
Holman, I don't know her, but if you had a good time, I'd like to get these other people on the show. I get a lot of people, guests to word of mouth now. So you have my digits, spread them around, give them to people, and if they want to appear, have them text me, hit me up, and we'll set it up.
Okay.
All right, Courtney, great jobs.
Thanks.
Ready to wrap it up the way we began it?
Sure.
Okay, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. See you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye. There you go. You got the spirit down.